When your cat sits with you and you start talking to them like they understand every word, do you actually know what that means? It feels normal, maybe even comforting, like a quiet habit you never question. But behind that simple moment, there is something deeper that most people miss. It is one of the most emotionally intimate connections you can build with another living being. And if you dismiss it or feel embarrassed about it, which many people do, you might ignore what that connection is actually doing for both of you. Let us start with what talking to your cat really means. Most people think talking to cats is just loneliness or a strange habit, something people do when no one else is around. But here is what is actually happening. You are engaging in emotional projection and response. Your brain is wired to seek connection, and when your cat is present, calm, and observant, your mind treats them as a safe receiver of your thoughts. Behavioral scientists have observed that humans naturally assign emotional understanding to animals they trust. Now here is the emotional reframe. You are not just talking to your cat. You are choosing them as a space where you can be unfiltered. Think about that for a second. Out of everything around you, your mind chooses your cat as the safest place to express without judgment. And by the way, if your cat ever responds with slow blinking, soft sounds, or just stays close while you talk, do not ignore it. We will come back to what that really means later, and it's something most people never fully understand. Here is what most people don't realize. A 2019 study from the University of Lincoln found that cats can recognize their owner's voice and respond differently compared to strangers. But what the study also revealed is more important. Cats may not respond like humans, but they are processing tone, emotion, and familiarity. In simple terms, your cat is not ignoring you. They are listening in their own way.
Animal cognition research shows that tone of voice carries emotional information that animals can interpret, even without language. Now, here is the emotional translation. When you talk to your cat, you are not speaking into silence. You are creating a shared emotional space. Your voice becomes part of how they experience safety. Think about that for a second. Your presence and your voice together shape how your cat feels in that moment. Now let us go deeper into something invisible but powerful. Cats rely heavily on scent and familiarity to understand their world. When you talk while sitting near them, your voice pairs with your scent, your presence, your energy. Researchers who study feline behavior call this multi-sensory bonding. But here's what that really means for you. Your cat is linking your voice to safety. You are not just a person in the room. You become part of their emotional territory. Think about that for a second. Every time you speak calmly around your cat, you are reinforcing that you belong in their safe world. And they begin to associate your voice with stability. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. What makes this even more powerful is where it comes from. As kittens, cats rely on sound and presence to feel secure around their mother. They learn to read subtle vibrations, tone, and closeness. That instinct never disappears. It evolves. Studies on domestic cats reveal that adult cats still use these early patterns to interpret safety in their environment. So when you talk to your cat, you are activating something ancient, something they learned at the very beginning of life. Think about that for a second. The same system that once helped them feel safe as kittens is now being activated by your voice. But here is the deeper meaning. They are not just hearing you. They are feeling you. Here is something most people never realize. Your cat does not respond this way to everyone. They do not sit calmly, listen, or stay present with just anyone speaking. Cats are selective with attention. They choose where to focus and where to disengage. Think about that for a second. Out of all the noise in their environment, they stay with you. Not because you are loud, but because you feel familiar. A cat that feels unsafe will leave. A cat that trusts will stay and listen. So when your cat remains near you while you talk, it is not passive behavior. It is active trust. This is what most people never realize. When you talk to your cat and they stay relaxed, slow blink, or even close their eyes, they are doing something that goes against their survival instincts. Cats are wired to stay alert and aware. But in that moment, they lower their guard. They allow themselves to be calm in your presence. And remember earlier when I said if your cat responds with subtle signals while you talk, do not ignore it? This is what I was talking about. Those small responses are signs of trust and comfort. Think about that for a second.
A naturally cautious animal, choosing calmness while you speak. That is not random. That is emotional safety. It means your presence and your voice together create a space where they can relax. Now, there is something important you need to notice. If your cat suddenly stops staying near you when you talk or becomes distant, that change matters. Cats do not shift behavior without reason. It could be stress, discomfort, or changes in their environment. Behavioral scientists have observed that withdrawal is often one of the earliest signs that something is wrong. Think about that carefully. Silence and distance are also forms of communication. So if your cat stops responding, do not ignore it. Pay attention, because what disappears can tell you more than what is present. So when you find yourself talking to your cat when no one else is around, do you actually know what it means? It is not just a habit. It is not loneliness, and it is not something meaningless. It is connection, trust, emotional safety, and shared presence, all happening in one quiet moment. That is not you talking to an animal. That is you building a bond in a language that does not need words. And that moment you thought was small, it was never small to them, and it should not be small to you either.